I am placing the entire
Kayo ang boss ko.
I am sorry.
And will not proclaim martial law.
Proclamation number 1081, placing the entire Philippines under martial law.
Despite our efforts and endeavors in choosing the rightful officials, we still experience and face prevailing issues such as graft and corruption, drugs, and the inescapable COVID-19 pandemic, which has drastically affected our lives, economy, society, and beloved country. As of the month of October, there are now approximately over 2.65 million COVID cases and 39,505 deaths, with only 22.4% of the population who are fully vaccinated. A survey by the SWS also revealed that unemployed Filipinos increased approximately by 13.5 million this second quarter of the year 2021. With our continuing unfavorable circumstance, we must choose virtuous and moral exemplars who are well deserved to lead our country to a bright and hopeful future. We are in need of leaders who obtain the necessary practical wisdom and have realized their own capabilities and limits in order to take the best course of action for the nation. But how? What are the virtues that an individual must possess to be an appropriate leader? According to Plato's theory of form, good is the highest of all forms. A person who is good is bound to do good deeds, as misdeeds are committed by a person who feigns ignorance and remains oblivious in goodness. This is because virtues are gradually learned through experiences in our way of living. It requires practice, dedication, and insightful reflection. Another theory by Thomas Aquinas states that there are four primary laws in ethics for basing our actions, which are the eternal law where everything is according to God, the natural law, human or positive law in accordance to natural law, and divine law from sacred texts and scriptures. With this in mind, I think that the most known and common traits a leader should have are, of course, leadership, empathy, compassion, fairness, integrity, and courage. Without a doubt, all of these traits are necessary and are utmost required as a suitable leader or official. However, I found some virtues that are somehow overlooked and overshadowed but are as equally important. One of them is assertiveness. A leader must be self-assured and even-tempered. In other words, having the right amount of confidence without being aggressive or arrogant. It also allows a person to stand firm on his or her principles and values without belittling the rights and beliefs of others. Another virtue is tactfulness, that is in respect to assertiveness, since it makes an individual considerate and thoughtful about relaying messages or information. Leaders are public figures who interacts with the whole world. These two virtues are needed for an effective media, information, literacy, and communication. Authenticity is also an important virtue, especially as an existential virtue. We need a leader who is genuine about his vision and mission of making our country a better place, as well as with being honest and dedicated to his or her intentions. But they must also be rational and realistic with their goals and ideals. Frugality is required to fully comprehend one's authority, to efficiently produce and preserve resources and needs of the people. Last but certainly not the least, what our leader must possess that I personally found lacking with our government officials till this day is forgiveness. The family feud between the Marcos and Aquinos are still unsettled and had always been a controversial issue, not just within the politics, but to our society as well. It is known that the Philippines had a dark and tragic past, but we must learn to forgive and learn from our mistakes. Instead of debating on who was right or wrong, bad or good, we should instead focus on our current issues and help one another to solve them. Instead of blaming and pulling each other down, we should have a leader. We should have leaders who are willing to unite, cooperate, and respect one another regardless their ideals, beliefs, practices, and actions from the past. There are still plentiful of virtues a leader must possess. Do not limit your perspectives on what I mentioned. Let us be wise on who we would vote in the upcoming and future elections. Avoid impracticality and fallacies upon voting, such as joining the bandwagon and persuasion by bribing. Be responsible, reasonable, and honest to yourself on deciding who are the best candidates in the election. If morals and ethics is about what we should do, virtue is about who we should be. We should aspire to be like our leaders and be a good person as well, and not only rely on them. What's the point of having the best leaders if we are the worst citizens? The practicality of understanding virtue may be vague, but as Aristotle said, it is already in our nature to be good, and it is up to you to decide if you accept and abide by it. When learning a trait or skill, find the golden mean. Always assess your position in a situation, and you'll be bound to do the right thing all the time, and eventually attain eudaimonia, a happiness from fulfilling hard work.
Let the voice of love take you high.